Good morning, everyone, and welcome to my stream. How are we this morning? Let's see if we can get a chat box up. Chat. So, good morning, everyone. How are we today? Oh, come on, sign into chat. Why is this not letting me chat source? No, we'll lose that. There seems to be something wrong with my chat box, so we'll go to there anyway, and we will. Let's see. Okay, so this doesn't seem to be. There's no chat this morning. Hold on, do we see if we can find some chat? Right, hold on. Hi, folks, this seems to be a bit of a disaster this morning. I don't seem to have any chat on my phone, but we'll see. And let's see how we get on. There you go. Good morning, everyone. How are we? Let's just see. Hold on. Here we go. Out of that, and we go into this. So, good morning, folks. How are we this morning? I hope everything's good for you. It's not good for me. It's a bit of a disaster so far. Hold on. Just bring that up. Yeah, and the chat box. So hopefully everyone's here, and I hope we're all having a good time. Let me see if I can just bring this up on my phone so as I see what's happening. And we will go to YouTube. Yep. And we'll go, no, we won't. Oh goodness, should have had this started. Let's see if we can find this stream. Yep, there we are now. So, good morning everyone, how are we? I hope you're all having a good morning. I was, until I realised I was having a bit of a disaster with regards to that there. So first thing in the morning, obviously, coffee. So I'll just pop that there. So this morning, we're going to make a traditional Irish cottage pie. So with this cottage pie, obviously, you're going to need potatoes, which I've just peeled. I have celery, carrots, Worcester sauce, garlic, onions, a stock cube. It's actually an oxo cube, which gives you better flavour. An onion, some thyme, some tomato puree, salt, some oil, and some ground beef. Now the difference between this and the traditional shepherd's pie is that shepherd's pie is made with ground lamb. Pardon me. So I'm going to go ahead with this. First of all, I've just boiled the kettle. So what I'm going to do, I'll set this to the front. We'll just get our potatoes. And we'll just chop them into small pieces because, to be honest, you're just going to be boiling them and then we're going to mash them. So the smaller they are, the quicker they'll boil. So I have about I'm only making enough here for two. So I have about 450 grams of potatoes, about 250 grams of minced beef, and that's enough. As I say, I'm making two individual cottage pies, so that'll just be more than enough potatoes. So just, as I say, chop the potatoes up fairly small, because if they're bigger, they'll take longer to boil. So we'll put them back into the saucepan. We'll just top them now. I'm going to put some salt in and some hot water, and then we'll boil them for about 15 minutes, just until they're fairly soft. You want them, you don't want them to be mushy, but you don't want them to be hard either. So we'll put those on there. Take some water. I've just boiled the kettle, and we're just going to pour the hot water in. And like I said, we'll salt the water and we'll let that boil for about 15 minutes. There's my salt. Plenty of salt in the water because it does help with the flavour of the potatoes. Just get a lid for that. We'll pop the lid on and we'll just let those boil through. Now we're going to work on our vegetables. So we'll just pop this pan on to a medium-high heat. And we'll start off with our onion. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll just wipe the starch off the knife and off the bench. Obviously there's a lot of starch on the potatoes, so we'll just wipe those off. So we'll take an onion. We'll slice it very finely. So if you slice it through like this, 3 cuts, just keep the end on it. Don't be taking the end off it, just the skin. And just slice it like that. Again, down the way. And then slice it across. You'll get thin pieces, which are dead, which cook. And then just use the end bit. You can use that for stock, or you can just throw it away. Put it in the compost heap. So into our pan, I'm going to add some just fried light cooking oil, just for frying off the onions. And we'll slide those in there. Now, like I say, folks, this is a traditional cottage pie, so I normally don't peel my vegetables, apart from the onion. I just wash them. The carrot has been topped and peeled. It's been well washed, and I've just leaving the skin on it. It just gives it a better flavour. Now we'll just dice the carrot into small dices, about the same size as the onion, and we'll pop it in as well. Folks, it's always good to have a sharp knife when you're cooking, because a blunt knife will actually more chance of cutting you, because you have to use more pressure. So always make sure that your knife is well sharpened. Just buy a cheap knife sharpener or a steel and give them a run over about once a week, and that'll just keep everything together. Now we're going to do the same with the celery. We're just going to dice it. Again, we've just topped and peeled it and washed it. Like I said, this is how my grandmother used to make it, how my mother makes it, and how obviously I make it, and hopefully this is how my children will make it. Because traditional foods are actually going out the window. We're more into Chinese and into different Indians and things like that. So cultural food, I find, is starting to lose its place. If you find any different. How's it going, lad? You getting up there? You into your cottage pie first thing in the morning? I'm making mine this early because it's like for later on. But if I do it any later than this here, I have the kids home from school and the place is going mad. Nice of you to join me. I wonder, do you make your cottage pie like this? We'll just give those a stir around while they're cooking off. We'll get a clove of garlic. Now you can either crush this or you can just chop it finely. I find it's easier, whichever it's easier for yourself. Obviously, I'm trained, so chopping it finely is not an issue. So as I say, like I said, I find that cultural foods such as cottage pies and things like that are starting to lose their place because people prefer more stir fries and probably what they class as healthier food. But these foods actually grew a nation. So I don't think there's anything wrong with them. I think that's like everything else in moderation. It's a good thing to have. So we'll just turn that heat up a little bit, and we'll let these vegetables soften. This will take about 5 or 6 minutes again. So once the vegetables are softened, then what we're going to do, we're going to add some thyme, some tomato puree, we'll add our mince, some oyster sauce, and then we'll make up a stock cube with some oxo on it. Oxo's great. It is actually just a beef stock cube, but I find it's got far more flavour than most of the other stocks that you use. I find the other just tastes like gravy, whereas this actually tastes like a beef stock. Now, folks, don't be doing what I'm doing. I used to doing this. I have sort of asbestos fingers. Just keep an eye on the potatoes that they don't boil over. They're boiling nicely. And we have everything else. We'll just add a touch of salt. It's always better, folks, to season as you go along, because you get more flavour into your food, and as you're starting to soften the vegetables, they do take on the flavour of the salt. So again, we're back to coffee. It's 10 AM in the morning in Ireland, so coffee's the way to go. So our vegetables are just starting to sizzle, and they'll take a few minutes to soften. Now I'll be serving mine in, where have I put them? In these individual pie dishes, and then I'll just be grilling them. Now obviously with the make ahead, you can put these in the oven, make them earlier in the morning like I'm doing, and then you can have them for your dinner or your whatever later on. Or they're also great to freeze, so if you make a double batch, you can freeze them. So as you can hear, our vegetables are starting to sizzle. Our potatoes are boiling nicely. Just turn them down a bit. And we're getting on there. So obviously, folks, we're going to add some Worcestershire sauce. We'll try that again. Worcestershire sauce into ours. And some tomato puree. And we'll use half a teaspoon of dried thyme. Just to give it a bit of flavour. So our vegetables are starting to soften. Now we're going to add our beef mince. So just pop it in, break it up. Like I say, I'm only making enough for two, so I have about 250 grams of beef mince here. And we're just going to let that fry off. Try and use 15%, 1585. I find it gives you a better flavour. You get a little bit of fat from the beef, but it also helps for flavour and for cooking the vegetables and things. Don't be going unless you're on a low-calorie diet. Try not to go with 5 or 20 for making a cottage pie. There's just not enough fat in it. Cottage pie is supposed to be a dish that there's lots of flavour, lots of gravy in. So we've got a beef in there, and we'll add a touch more salt and a touch more pepper. Now we'll get our jug, because we need about 225 milliliters of water just for making up the gravy. Like I said, I've already boiled the kettle, so the water is hot. We'll just pop that there, and we'll tidy up a little bit. So folks, where in the world are we from? Oh, I'm not putting some brown sauce in. I'll put brown sauce in afterwards, lad. You put brown sauce on the side of the plate. I know, don't get me wrong. I have the brown sauce here. Where is it gone? It's not as if I don't use it. I have the HP sauce already. So I have, I'll tell you what, seeing as you're here, I'll put a squeeze of brown sauce in. I don't normally, but seeing as you've asked me for it, I'll stick it in for you. Leave that in there. There. There you go. Peter and Broderick, just, there's the brown sauce in for the two of you. Now, my partner comes home and she says that she can taste this brown sauce. I'm blaming it on you. I'll keep the replay for the chat up and you can tell her why there's brown sauce in it. But yeah, you gotta, if I was making it for myself, I would add brown sauce. Also add brown sauce at the side. And let's be honest, lads, there's nothing better than people just look at you like you're not wise. Then I see tomorrow, cottage pie, between two rounds of bread, sandwich, the way to go. Brown sauce, cottage pie, 2 rounds of bread, especially batch bread or nutty crust, and you're flying. So as you can see, our vegetables are starting to heat up. Let's just move this over a bit. What have I done? Present chat, move that over there. There you go. So there's your brown sauce in. The mince is starting to cook off. Nice and brown. Vegetables are starting to soften. Now, like I said, I'm going to make mine. Just make the mash, pop it onto the grill, just brown it off. But you can use it later on for make away dinner. So an oxo cube, crumble your oxo cube in. Just give it a mix around. Let all the flavors get in together. So I'm going to do live streams a couple of times a week. So I am just try to keep them going between into now and into the new year. It's hard to find dishes that you can cook within half an hour. We do a lot of slow cooker dishes, which I'll be using on videos for next week. So your oxo cubes in. Now we're going to add some water. Again, judge it yourself. It says the oxo cube tells you to add about 200 milliliters of water for flavour, but I like it a bit stronger. So I'm just going to add some. And we'll just let it bubble away until it's ready. Now, obviously, when you're doing your mashed potatoes, it has to be fresh butter and it has to be fresh milk. Please do not use margarine in mashed potatoes. That's just wrong on every level. So, that's all I'm saying. Please just do not use. So we'll get that away. Throw that there. We'll add a touch of tomato puree now. About half a tablespoonful. And we'll add some Worcester sauce. Again, as much as you like, but I think about half a tablespoonful is more than enough. Just give that a stir around. Now you see a lot of cottage pies and things like that that are made with tomatoes, tins of tomatoes and everything else. Years ago when grandmothers and grandfathers were making cottage pies, they didn't have tin tomatoes. So they just used tomatoes that were mashed up. They probably didn't have tomato puree either, but they would have made up a little bit of tomato flavour for in it. So this is a hearty meal. I mean, it's an all-in-one meal. You've got your vegetables, you've got your potatoes, you've got your meat, your gravy, your sauce. A lot of people serve it with chips. Other people serve it with maybe even more mash. I like to serve mine just with mashed potatoes. I could put champing or put scallions into it and make the potatoes into champ. Just check those potatoes. They're not far off it now. Another minute or two and they'll be ready. And then we can make some mashed potatoes. So let me know, folks, what way do you like your champ? Obviously, some of you have already told me that you like it with brown sauce. Do you like it in a sandwich? Do you not like it in a sandwich? Do you take it with extra vegetables? Do you eat it with something else? So our gravy's made, our sauce is nice and thick. We'll just boil that down. The meat's cooked. Now, obviously, the longer you can leave this on, the better. The mince will go much softer. But that's where putting it in the oven later to reheat it helps as well. Yeah, I have a large kitchen. Yeah, not only is it large here, but it also goes. I'll just turn it around and let you see some more of it, just so you can see. So yeah, it goes all the way around. So it is a fairly large kitchen. So yeah, um, it's great for cooking. And to be honest, yeah, the only thing is I find that when my partner are in here, me and her bump into each other. I don't know what the story is with that, whether we're just attracted to each other or what the story is, but we seem to bump into each other quite regularly. Uh, or she'll work in one area, and that's the area that I want to work in. The only thing I'm missing, I need an island. I need a grill here or a cooker here in the island, just to um, a millionaire's house. I doubt it. I only wish. So I do. I only wish. Yeah, we don't get me wrong. I do have a large house. I live in a detached bungalow on about 3/4 of an acre. So, but I'm out in the country, and being out in the country sometimes has its disadvantages with regards to likes of Wi-Fi, or like I said earlier on, you can't get a Chinese delivered. It's hard to get the Chinese delivered to here because you're so far out. But apart from that, it's great. It's nice and quiet. I have two young children, and it's great for them. It's safety, and I have a dog who, to be honest, rules the house, rules the garden. But it's definitely not a millionaire's house. I wish I was a millionaire. So I do. I just check these potatoes again. Yep, they're just about done. So what I'll do with these is I'll take them over to the sink and we'll just drain them. And we'll just drain them into a colander. Now another little tip is put your potatoes back into the pan, put it back onto the heat, and that'll dry off the potatoes. It'll make them easier to mash. It'll steam them off, they'll be nice and dry. These potatoes actually won't need much mashing, they'll just need a bit of, they're actually really soft. I'll just stick that heat higher up. So as you can see, the mashed potatoes are done. So now we're going to, or the potatoes are cooked, sorry. So now we're going to add some butter to them and a little bit of milk. So take a bit of milk, or a bit of butter, sorry, small saucepan, and we're going to add in a little bit of butter, and a little bit of fresh milk. Again, just how creamy or how you like your. We'll put that onto the heat for a few seconds just to warm it up and melt the butter. Thank you very much, Count. I'm glad you're enjoying them. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to make it where everybody seems to enjoy it. It's great that people enjoy it. It's not as easy as everybody thinks, especially not live streaming. Live streaming is hard because you don't know your time scale. You don't know if anybody's going to watch. It's great when people come in, and especially nice whenever people give you compliments. Thank you very much. Let's take another sip of coffee to keep me going. So it is, like I said, it's great whenever people enjoy it. So we're going to just melt our butter, and then we're going to take the milk, and we're going to pop the Hi Pat, how are you? I hope everything's good. So we'll put a bit of seasoning into this, into the potatoes. Obviously I boiled them in water, but I mean you do need to season your potatoes. Like I said, I'm melting some milk. My mince, as you can see, is coming together. It's just nice and thick. The gravy's starting to thicken up. Just boil it down to whatever thickness you like it. If you like plenty of gravy in your cottage pie, then just let it be a little more water. If you like your cottage pie to be thicker, which I do, then just boil it down a little bit further. Again, in the cottage pie, if you're late joining me, I have my mashed potatoes cooked, which I sliced earlier. In the meat, I have mince, I have carrots, celery, onions. It's expensive now, so it is. Yeah. So I have minced carrots, onions. I have garlic, tomato puree, Worcestershire sauce. A couple of boys earlier on asked me for brown sauce, so I put a little touch of HP brown sauce into it, which if you're not from Ireland, is this one here. It really is traditional. It's the only way to eat. It's the only with brown sauce that you can eat. Any other brown sauce isn't. So we have our milk boiled and our butter melted. We're just going to add that to the potatoes. Obviously, mashed potatoes have to have butter and milk or cream. Please do not, like I said earlier, do not use margarine because that is not the way to go. Now we'll just flick the grill onto high because we're going to. So mash your potatoes up fairly well. You don't want any lumps in them. It's expensive now. So it is. So it is a great word that everybody says. A great sentence that everybody says in Ireland. Between that there and how are you, lad? Or top of the morning, or how's it going? All these are traditional Irish sayings. So there's my mashed potatoes done. So I've just put those to the side for the time being. And I'll throw that over there. My mince is obviously cooked. The gravy's thickening. So while I'm just waiting on that finishing off, I'm going to grate some cheddar cheese. Now I like a mature cheddar cheese on top of mine. So we'll grate a little bit into this. Just as much as you like again. Everybody's flavours or tastes are different. I just like mine with quite a bit of cheese on top. So we'll just pop that to the side. Now, as you can see again, the mince is nice and thick. All the gravy has melted into it. Let's just do a little taste test and see if it needs any salt, pepper, or anything else. Now, I seasoned this earlier twice. Once when I done the vegetables, and once when I added the mince. Yeah. Needs a touch more salt. Yeah, they're cliches. Of course they're cliches. But sure, if everybody hears you're from Ireland, that's all they think that you say. And they think all we eat is cabbage spuds and baked ham or roasted ham or corned beef. It's not corned beef like they get in America. It's corned beef out of a tin. No, that is all cliches. I agree with you 100%. So, we'll just pop the potatoes there. We'll slide that forward a little bit. And we'll bring in these two dishes. So now everything is done. We'll just divide these between the two dishes. Now, if you let this cool and put your potatoes on top, it's another way to do it. Because I'm doing mine for a live stream, I'm just going to do it all at the one time. So you have mince in the bottom. You don't need to grease your tins or anything like that there because, to be honest, there's enough oil in the mince and things like that to stop it from sticking. Is your kitchen bigger than mine, Pat? Good lad. Well, to be honest, I showed him the rest of my kitchen. This is only about half of it. It also goes along the other wall, and it also goes along there, but it's not a competition. As I said earlier, the only thing that I'm missing, and I feel that I'm missing, is I would have loved to have had, in the island, I would have loved to have had a cooker. But sure, I didn't think I was going to do YouTube videos at the time, so now that our mince is all just spread out, divide it evenly between the two dishes, we're going to cover it with the mashed potatoes. So, put your potatoes on top. So where are you from, Pat? Are you from our fair land, or are you an expat, or are you? Because obviously you can tell by my accent I'm from the north, but I'm living in County Kerry at the minute. Well, when I say at the minute, I've been here for 7 years. I have a couple of young children here, so it's home now. Although I do miss Belfast quite a bit, but don't tell my partner. So we've got that spread over. We'll just take a fork and we'll do some ridges along it, just to roughen it up, so for whenever you're grilling it, that it takes some more of the burn. This is really only for show. We wouldn't need to be doing that. So slide that forward a bit more. As you can see, our cottage pies, loads of cheese, and I mean loads of cheese. Pardon me. So, as I say, let's just get the last of the cheese. So, Pat, do you do any cooking? So as you can see, lots of cheese, potatoes. We'll pop them under the grill and we'll let those brown off. Again, it takes about 5 minutes, depending on where you're going to do. So I'll just move this out of the road. I'll move that over, do a bit of tidying up, and now we'll have a bit of a chat. That's me picking at the cheese. Navan, up that part of the world, I'll go through that direction. County Meath. Welcome to Kerry, or welcome to my home kitchen, I hope. You must have a good sized kitchen then, Pat. Is it an industrial kitchen, or do you just live? Because my kitchen's fairly large. It's actually bigger than I was anticipating whenever the house was being built. So folks, have you any questions about the cottage pie, or any questions about Irish cooking, or is there anything else that you'd like me to cook live? Like I said, over the next few weeks I'll be doing a lot of slow cooking because winter's coming. Energy crisis is all on, and it's a lot cheaper just to use a slow cooker. But I have the air fryer here, I have the cookers. If there's anything that you think of that you want me to make, let me know and we'll go through it. I can nearly say that. A full tutorial of it. I have no problem cooking anything that you wish, like from stir fries to traditional Irish dishes, anything. So like I said, let me know if you're interested or what you'd like me to make. It always helps me out as well, because it means that I can have different ideas what to make. Just have a wee nosy at this is now. See what this is like. The cheese is starting to melt. It hasn't started to go brown yet, but it is starting to melt. So what's the weather like in Navan today, Pat? Because in Kerry it's dry. I don't know whether it's warm because I'm stuck in the kitchen or what. I haven't really been outside. My dog is watching me through the window. He wants to come in. But apart from that, there it's dry. Seems fairly nice. Haven't lit the fire yet. So how do you find live streams, folks? Do you prefer these, or do you just prefer the cooking videos? Live streams are nervous. I find that I get nervous when I'm doing them. Maybe it's just because I've only done 2 or 3, but working in hospitality. Yeah, there's not much out here either, to be honest with you. I have my next door neighbours, well, I have neighbours next door, and next door to that's donkeys. Because there's nothing out here either. That's the worst about living out here. Because I'm out here, the internet access isn't great. So I have to schedule my streams around a couple of things. First of all, I have 2 young children at school, and they would, to be honest, when they're home, there's no chance of cooking live because they're quite loud. That's the best way I can describe them. So yeah, my house is new. It's only about 10 years old, but we're on about 3/4 of an acre. as well. We have a bit of a forestry at the back, but it's nice. But like I said, the only thing missing is you can't get Chinese delivered, or you can't get McDonald's delivered, or anything like that there. So I'll send that there to save some money as well. So let's just check these again, see if they're ready. Very nearly. Another few seconds and they'll be done. So how I started cooking, well, I started cooking, obviously, I've been cooking for a lifetime, but I started cooking online for whenever, the old virus hit everybody. And I've just continued on. I enjoy it. It gives me something, it gives me a bit of a hobby. Let me see how many we have. Yep, so it's getting better. I've enjoyed the live streams. So I think next week I'm going to do maybe a burger on Wednesday, Monday or Wednesday. I'll drop a link for it. And I think maybe a steak sandwich next Friday. But we'll just see, maybe something different. Or I'll maybe look for something traditional. And see, do something Irish as well. Maybe do gammon and chips or something. So I'll just take that out. We'll set that there. We'll get the other glove. And there, folks. That's how your cottage pie looks. Let me see. We'll just set that over. I'll pop that up there. We'll take our fork. These are roasting. You hardly believe me, lad. I came down here for 6 weeks, 7 years ago, and I'm still here. So, folks, there's my cottage pie. I'll just set that up there and we'll show you. And there's what it looks like underneath. Just all your mince, your gravy, cheese, everything. You couldn't ask for more, to be honest. As I said, I've already tasted it. I was going to say this will do me for dinner, but I don't think it will. I think looking at it now, it's going to get a bit of a scoffing. So it is. So, folks, that's everything done. I think it's time for me to say goodbye. Get some tidying up done before her indoors comes home and starts giving off. And as I say, thanks very much for watching. Like I said, if you think anything in the comments that you want me to make, let me know and I will go through it. We'll try maybe gammon steaks or burgers or steak sandwiches, or maybe even a good old toasted sandwich. Ham, cheese, tomato and onion, along with maybe some mushroom soup or tomato soup. And we'll think about that for next week. You're starving. Thanks, Peter. I'm starving myself. I'm tempted very, very seriously to dig into this. It was supposed to be for dinner tonight, just reheated in the oven, but I don't think it's going to last that long, to be honest. I think I'm going to have a whack at it now, never mind. And she can have one and she can have hers later and I'll have a sandwich or something. I am in the Republic, lad. I'm in County Kerry. I'm in a little place just about 10 miles outside Killarney called 4 The only thing there is in this place is an airport. And obviously me, of course. But everything else, there's not much in it. There's a shop, petrol station, airport, and that's about it. So yeah, I'm in the Republic. I've been living in the Republic for, as I say, over 7 years now. I came down for 6 weeks to pull a fella out of a hole and met a girl, and the rest, as they pardon me, and the rest, as they say, is history. So like I said, folks, I'm just going to wrap this up. Again, thanks for watching. No, I'm from Belfast, but I'm originally from Belfast. Like I said, I've only been down here for 7 years. So, as I say, it's a lovely part of the country. It's just like home, apart from the fact that you can't go into the town and get a Nando's, or you can't go down and get a KFC. The food and all is 99% the same. People are, well, the only thing about County Kerry is the scenery is beautiful. It would remind you, anybody who's up north would say, it would remind you of the Antrim coast. like down the Wild Atlantic Way from Killarney then into Dingle and things like that. It's beautiful. So, I mean, if you can make it up this direction, give me a shout out and we'll meet up and have a coffee. So like I said, folks, it's time for me to go and maybe eat this up. Thanks for watching. As again, don't forget to subscribe. Again, hit the like button, folks, because everybody enjoys it. Hey, no. Let's keep it. Let's keep it polite, gentlemen. I didn't come on to start a riot because I've already had people telling me that I need brown sauce in my cottage pie, which I did do. Obviously, I would do that for myself, but some people don't like it. So, right, folks, I'm going to wrap this up. Thanks for watching. Look, if you know anybody else who would be interested in watching my live streams or my videos, tell them to like the channel and we'll take it from there. Thanks very much. Again, goodbye, and I'll talk to you soon.